My child, you're being misled, and somewhere inside you, you already feel it. There's a quiet discomfort in your spirit, a tug you can't explain, a tightening every time something feels off, and that tightening is not confusion, it's not insecurity, it's not overthinking. It's God. It's His warning. It's His whisper. It's His signal that something around you is not what it appears to be. And you've been trying to ignore it because you wanted to trust, you wanted to believe the best, you wanted to hold on to the idea that everything was fine. But God is stepping in now, and He's not going to let you carry this blindness any longer. You are not imagining the change in someone's behavior. You are not overreacting to the silence, the half-answers, the inconsistencies, the sudden shift in energy. You are not misreading the way someone keeps pulling you close but never gives you clarity, the way they keep telling you one thing but living another, the way they keep you emotionally hooked while keeping their truth hidden. God has watched long enough. He has seen your loyalty, your patience, your softness, your hope, and He has seen how those things have been used against you by someone who doesn't understand the weight of your heart. But God understands it, deeply. You've been walking around with questions you didn't want to ask, because you feared the answers. You've been holding on to moments instead of realities. Signals instead of commitments, promises instead of proof. And you kept telling yourself that if you could just wait a little longer, maybe things would unfold, maybe the truth would come out in the gentle way you hoped. But the truth isn't coming gently. It's coming directly from God, and He is pulling back the curtain, not to hurt you, but to free you. There is someone in your life who has been presenting a version of themselves that is convenient for them but confusing for you. They know exactly how you feel. They know your value. They know the impact you have on their heart. But they've also been hiding pieces of themselves, stories, intentions, motives, connections, because they did not want to lose the comfort of having you while still holding on to something or someone else that they haven't fully let go of. They wanted both worlds, but God is saying no. Not with you. Not anymore. God has watched you settle for mixed signals, for partial answers, for almost commitments, for vague emotions wrapped in beautiful words. He's watched you feel guilty for wanting clarity, as if asking for truth was too much. He's watched you doubt your intuition even though your intuition was born from His voice. And He's saying, you're done doubting yourself. You're done shrinking your needs. You're done waiting for someone who doesn't know how to choose with honesty. The truth is coming, and you're going to see what you couldn't see before. Someone has been trying to guide the narrative of your connection. Trying to shape your understanding, trying to keep you in a comfortable fog. They didn't plan to deceive you, not intentionally, not maliciously, but their fear, their insecurity, their indecision created a shadow over you. And that shadow has kept you guessing, hoping, holding on. God is breaking that shadow right now. He's flipping on the spiritual light, exposing what the human eye missed, and what He's showing you is this: your heart has been loyal to someone who hasn't been fully loyal to themselves. They are still conflicted, still tied to something in their past, still influenced by someone who shouldn't have access to them anymore. They've been telling you one thing while living another. Not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to live courageously yet. And God is saying, I will not let your heart be dragged through someone else's confusion. God is leading you to a truth that hurts at first but heals you in the end. You're about to see conversations you weren't aware of, intentions that didn't match actions, emotions that were real but not supported by maturity. You're going to understand why things felt stuck, why something always felt incomplete, why you could feel love but never stability. And God is doing this because He knows your heart is too precious to be kept in uncertainty. You have been praying for clarity, even when you didn't use words. Your tears asked for truth, your silence asked for direction, your anxiety asked for answers. And God heard every one of those prayers. He knew you weren't asking to be proven right, you were asking to be protected. He knew you weren't asking for someone to be exposed, you were asking to be guided. And guidance always begins with truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable. The person who has been misleading you, whether knowingly or unknowingly, is about to face a divine mirror. God is not punishing them, He's revealing them. And when that revelation happens, you will finally understand why you felt so confused, so drained, so uncertain. God is not trying to turn your heart cold. He's trying to free your heart so it can receive what He's actually prepared for you. There's another reason this truth is coming. You've outgrown the version of yourself who tolerates half-love. You've outgrown the version of yourself who accepts emotional crumbs. You've outgrown the version of yourself who feels grateful for attention instead of deserving of intention. God is elevating you, and that elevation requires exposure, exposure of others, exposure of motives, exposure of illusions, exposure of promises that were never meant to last. You don't need to chase clarity anymore. Clarity is coming to chase you. You don't need to beg for consistency. Consistency is going to reveal itself, either through someone stepping up or someone stepping out. You don't need to question what your heart already knows. Your spirit has felt the truth long before your mind accepted it. There is someone else God is aligning for you, someone who carries truth naturally, who doesn't hide their emotions, who doesn't juggle you with other attachments. Someone who doesn't create confusion because confusion never lives in a heart that knows what it wants. But before God introduces that person fully into your life, He has to remove the tangled threads that currently pull you back. He has to show you exactly why He couldn't let you commit to the wrong energy. He has to reveal what was hidden so you won't carry false hope any longer. You are stepping into a season where God refuses to let you stay blind. Every illusion is dissolving. Every lie is losing its power. Every half-truth is turning transparent. And you are going to rise from this not wounded, but wiser, not discouraged, but destined, not broken, but beautifully rebuilt. You may not feel ready for the truth, but God knows that you are. Truth does not break you, it frees you. It removes the weight from your chest. It sharpens your intuition. It strengthens your boundaries. It teaches you how much you deserve. You don't realize how close you are to the moment where everything suddenly makes sense. The questions that have been haunting you, the mixed signals that kept you suspended, the strange shifts in someone's behavior, all those little fragments are coming together into clarity. And when the truth arrives, it won't overwhelm you. It will empower you. It will open your eyes in a way that makes you wonder how you ever doubted what you felt in your spirit from the very beginning. God is preparing you for this revelation because He knows you are strong enough to accept the truth and gentle enough to transform through it. You have a heart that tries to see the best in people, even when they don't offer their best. You forgive quickly, you hold on tightly, and you hope sincerely. But sometimes that kind of heart becomes a target for people who are unsure of their own direction. Not because they want to hurt you, but because they don't understand how to handle someone who loves at a deeper level than they've ever experienced. There is someone who knows your value but has not honored it. They may not have lied with words, but they lied with silence. They didn't deceive you with promises, they deceived you with the absence of them. They didn't betray you by being honest, they betrayed you by keeping you in a place of emotional uncertainty. And God is saying, this cycle is ending now. Not by force. Not by conflict, not by chaos, but by truth. Pure, unfiltered, unavoidable truth. This person has been battling something within themselves. A fear, a memory, a wound, a past attachment that still has fragments lingering in their heart. They've been afraid of letting go of something familiar, even if it no longer serves them. And because of that, they have kept you in a place of waiting, waiting for clarity, waiting for certainty, waiting for them to choose you in the way your heart deserves. But God is stepping in because you were never meant to stand still in someone else's hesitation. Your spirit has sensed this internal battle. It's why you felt the inconsistency. It's why one moment felt warm and the next felt cold. It's why you could feel love but also feel distance. It's why you could feel connection but also confusion. You weren't imagining it. You were discerning it. And that discernment is God's voice, not insecurity. God has been giving this person chances to stand in truth, to be honest, to choose integrity, to let their heart be fully present with you. But they hesitated. And God is not going to let their hesitation become your heartbreak. So He is revealing what you need to know, not to shame them, not to judge them, but to protect you from being entangled in a story that was never yours to fix. Something is about to happen, a conversation, a message, an unexpected shift, a moment you didn't see coming, and it will reveal everything. You will finally understand why things were delayed, why someone felt distant, why their emotions came in waves instead of steady streams. You will see exactly what they've been struggling with, and you will see clearly whether their intentions align with your future or whether they are still tied to something they can't let go of. And here is the truth you might not be ready for, but God wants you to hear: you were never meant to compete for someone's love. You were never meant to beg for clarity. You were never meant to feel like a second option, a backup plan, a temporary comfort. God didn't create you with a rare heart just for it to be mishandled by someone who isn't ready to honor it. He's showing you what's really going on because He's preparing you for someone who doesn't bring confusion. Someone who doesn't hide. Someone who doesn't give you bits and pieces. Someone who doesn't make you guess their intentions or decode their emotions. Someone whose love is clear, direct, grounded, and fearless. Someone who has healed enough to love you the way you deserve to be loved, but for that person to enter your life fully, God has to guide you away from the one who keeps you stuck. He has to expose the truth so your heart can let go of the fantasy and see reality for what it is. Not because you were wrong for loving, but because you were meant for a love that doesn't require you to sacrifice your peace. You have spent too long trying to understand someone who barely understands themselves. You have poured energy into someone who hasn't poured back with the same depth. You have stretched your heart wider and wider for someone who hasn't stepped forward with the courage needed to meet you halfway. And God is saying, enough. You've given enough. You've waited enough. You've hoped enough. Now it's time for truth. The truth God is bringing will feel like a release. Not a punishment, not a loss, a release. A deep exhale you didn't know you needed. A spiritual lifting of weight. A clearing of fog. A moment where your heart finally stops guessing and starts understanding, and in that understanding, you will feel God's love in a way you never have before. You will realize He wasn't trying to take something away from you, He was trying to save you from being drained any further. He wasn't trying to expose someone to hurt you. He was trying to expose the truth so you could heal. He wasn't trying to end your story, He was trying to redirect it. You are stepping into a season where God refuses to let you walk with blindfolds. You are stepping into a season where discernment grows sharper, where intuition becomes clearer, where your emotional boundaries become stronger. You will not fall for mixed signals again. You will not accept half-effort, half-love, half-truths. God is growing you into someone who only receives what is pure, honest, steady, and aligned with His plan. And when you finally see what's happening behind the scenes, everything, every delay, every silence, every moment of emotional confusion, will suddenly make sense. You will see that it wasn't rejection, it wasn't unworthiness, it wasn't weakness on your part. It was protection, and God's protection is always precise. You're coming to the end of a chapter that was never meant to break you, only to prepare you. And God wants you to understand that everything you went through, every moment of confusion, every unanswered question, every emotional high followed by an unexplained low, was not wasted. It was shaping you, strengthening your spirit, and sharpening your ability to see truth even when someone tried to hide it behind charm, excuses, or emotional distance. God is about to show you exactly why that person could never fully step into the role your heart hoped they would. Not because they never cared, but because they weren't equipped to love at the depth you require. They weren't emotionally grounded enough, spiritually mature enough, or honest with themselves enough to build something real with you. They enjoyed your presence, but they weren't ready for your soul. They admired you, but they weren't prepared to rise to the standard your love naturally demands. And God is saying, that's not your burden to carry. That's not your responsibility to fix. That's not your job to wait on. You are not meant to shrink to fit inside someone else's hesitation. You are not meant to dim your intuition to justify someone's inconsistency. You are not meant to water down your spirit to make their insecurity feel comfortable. God is lifting you out of that emotional limbo, out of the haze you didn't even realize you were slowly adapting to. The truth He's revealing won't destroy your heart. It will liberate it, and liberation is exactly what your spirit has been craving. That subtle heaviness you've been feeling, the way your chest tightens when something doesn't make sense, the way your thoughts circle the same questions over and over again, that's not love, it's bondage. And God is breaking you out of it. You're going to wake up one morning and feel the shift inside you. You won't crave answers anymore. You won't feel pulled toward that person the same way. You won't feel desperate for clarity. Your soul will feel lighter because now it understands. Understanding is healing. Truth is healing. And God is giving you both. The truth may show you that someone kept you in their life because you were comfort, not commitment. Because you were peace, not priority. Because you were stability, not certainty. And God is saying, you were never meant to be someone's almost. You were never meant to be someone's emotional placeholder. There is someone else being prepared for you, someone who isn't threatened by your depth, someone who isn't intimidated by your love, someone who doesn't pull away when things get real. Someone who doesn't run back to old attachments when they get scared. Someone who doesn't throw mixed signals at your heart like tests you never signed up for. Someone who will never make you feel like you're hard to love. God is preparing a person who will meet your heart with certainty, not confusion. Someone whose intentions match their actions without you having to guess. Someone whose truth is clean, whose energy is stable, whose past is closed, and whose spirit is aligned. Someone who brings clarity, not chaos. Someone who sees you and says, "This is it. This is what I've prayed for." Someone who doesn't hesitate for even a second, but before you receive them, God has to cut the emotional thread connecting you to someone who was never meant to stay. He has to show you why the confusion existed. He has to reveal the motives, the conversations, the hesitations, the inconsistencies that kept you spiritually uneasy. Not to hurt you, not to embarrass you, not to make you regret caring, but to make you see clearly where you've been pouring your heart. You've been faithful to someone who wasn't faithful to their own truth. You were steady for someone who wasn't steady inside. You gave effort where they gave excuses. You offered honesty where they offered avoidance. And God is saying, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve full love, not filtered love. The truth He's unveiling will empower you to walk away if you need to detach emotionally, to reclaim your peace, to realign with your destiny. You will feel a strength rise inside you that you haven't felt in a long time, a strength that whispers, I know my worth now. And once you know your worth, no one can access you the wrong way again. This exposure isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about your evolution. It's about your spiritual leveling. It's about stepping into a new version of yourself who is no longer attracted to inconsistent energy, unavailable hearts, or people who don't choose you with intention. You are entering a season where God will not allow the wrong people to stay close. He will block their access. He will remove their influence. He will disrupt the connection if it threatens your peace. Not as punishment, but as protection. Because your heart is too valuable to be entangled in uncertainty. Too precious to be mishandled. Too sacred to be treated casually. You will soon feel yourself rising emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Rising out of the confusion. Rising out of the attachment. Rising out of the illusions. Rising out of the hope that was keeping you tied to someone God was trying to release you from. And when the release completes, you will breathe differently. You will love differently. You will move differently. What God is bringing into your life next will make you understand why He had to expose what was hidden now. You needed this truth so you wouldn't carry the wrong person into your future. You needed this clarity so you wouldn't bring confusion into your blessing. You needed this revelation so you wouldn't sabotage the love that's actually meant for you. Soon, everything that's unclear will be illuminated. Everything that felt contradictory will make sense. Everything that kept you emotionally stuck will loosen its grip. And you will walk forward with a heart that's no longer weighed down by someone else's fears. This is not the end of your story. This is the clearing before the breakthrough. This is the truth before the blessing. This is the exposure before the elevation. This is God saying, I'm preparing you for something better, something real, something whole, something worthy of you. And when that better arrives, you will look back and say with full certainty, thank you for showing me the truth. Thank you for protecting me from what I didn't see. Thank you for guiding me to what was meant for my heart. Your clarity is coming, your healing is coming, your real love is coming, and this time, you won't be misled,